Stop relying on that one person in your business who just knows everything. Every business has that hero of some sort, the person who solves every single problem. You feel like you can't live without them. The problem with that person is not that they're not good at their job or what they do. The problem is you've created a people centric organization, not a system centric organization. Today, we're going to walk through what are the three main documents you need in your accounting department so that you can create a system centric accounting department that no matter who comes in or out, the department will continue to run flawlessly. The first document that you need is the accounting policy manual. This is where we outline all of the essential things that people need to know to be a part of the accounting department. We want revenue recognition rules. We want capitalization policies, accrual logic, understand materiality. What do you consider to be material within the business? What are the controls? What are the approval flows? When we establish all of these things with this policy, it takes some of that unknown and it takes some of that just go ask so and so, because that person is the one who makes all the final decisions. When you hear about the accounting department being this negative thing and having this bad reputation, it's typically because of inconsistent processes and approvals. So people come and they get different answers at different times, and it feels like there's a tyrant running the shop. But when we put these policies and procedures in place, everyone knows that they're being treated fairly, being treated the same, and they now get a department that acts consistently no matter who is in charge of that transaction, of that interaction. One of the key things that I've seen very few people do is put together some chart of account rules and logic, how we manage the chart of account, what each of the accounts is for, and the history of those accounts. Doing this adds so much clarity to how things get coded within the business, and it can change the relationship between accounting, the higher ups, and the other parts of the business in a way that you won't even expect. So adding this consistency with this accounting policy manual is something that every business needs. The second set of documents that we want is we want an SOP library. We want everything to be documented so that the process is known, that things stop living in the head of that one person and they start living on paper. We want to understand revenue, how we record all of those, what our revenue procedures are, what our expense procedures are, payroll procedures, cash management procedures. We want for all the areas of the business, things to be documented in SOPs. How you document this is specific to your organization, but we want to make sure that we have a consistent flow of how things work, how things are documented. What I would encourage you today is go write out all of the processes you have in your business, and then the person that owns that process is responsible for documenting it, and then assign a reviewer for each of those processes. If you do this, you can then actually pass jobs between people, and that will help reveal places that you had assumed knowledge in the past. So you'll have one person doing the job on a day-to-day, and then say once a quarter, switch jobs or switch portions of a process to have another person do it so they can come and ask and surface the questions that may be assumed in the process as it is today. This makes sure that information is not siloed in one area and that you have, again, a system-centric department instead of a people-centric department. Then the last document that we're going to talk about here is a version of an SOP, but it's the close playbook. The close playbook is what everything runs off of in the accounting department. A good close is what helps the business get the numbers they need and helps the business understand and be confident in the numbers that they're getting. Consistency in close is the one thing that if we could solve in every accounting department, we could make every accounting department great. So what we want is we want a calendar. We want deadlines that are followed and committed to. We don't want to make exceptions every single month for why the deadline wasn't met. We want to just meet the deadlines. This is going to be hard culturally at first, but once you establish this culture, it becomes ingrained in the way that the team works. We then want to make sure we have a documented checklist, meaning we know these are the things that we're doing every single month without fail. There's no excuse for not getting them done. And we follow that checklist. And we actually record the timing and the sign-offs for each point of the checklist. So if you're responsible for it, you're signing an actual document, you're dating that actual document, and there's also a reviewer to make sure that that is overseen. We want to put rules in place for how we do reconciliations, what the journal entries look like, again, review and sign off. And then ultimately, once that close happens, we then jump into the financial reporting preparation. That is a whole set of things on its own that we'll talk about at some point in the future. Next week, we're going to talk about the whole accounting cycle and process. So subscribe so you don't miss that particular video. But again, this close checklist is the key to an accounting department that runs well and an accounting department that works well with the business. I'm going to do a little bit of an interrupt here, and I want to talk about AI for a second. Everyone is talking about it today. Everyone says that it's going to replace all of your internal accounting. And while that may or may not be true, these sort of documents are essential to set yourself up so that when AI can do these things, that it can do them well and it can do them how you want it. If your system is broken, AI is not going to solve that system. So you need these foundational documents so that AI can know where to go, what to do, follow that procedure, and make sure there's consistency with what you do in your current team. So here's the question to think about today. If someone on your team walked out tomorrow for whatever reason, could you still close the books on time? Could you still perform all your primary accounting functions? Could you still trust the numbers? Because ultimately, if you can't answer yes to those first two, can we close the books and will everything get done? You can't trust the numbers of your business. If we answer no, we want to reflect what changes do we need to make today to get closer to being able to trust the numbers, to being able to close the books, to being able to do all of the processes. The first step is going to be a closed checklist. We want to get that closed checklist, closed calendar done, create that closed playbook. Once we've created that closed playbook, we want to map out all of our SOPs. Once we've understood those two things, those are going to be the urgent things. We want to work on that policy manual. I'd encourage you, don't wait. Get started on this today. Start that closed checklist today. You can spend 20 to 30 minutes here and you can get a good first working version that works for your business. And next week, we're going to talk about the whole accounting process and how everything interconnects. Hope to see you again next week.